up, guys? It's Justin. Well, we're going to try to finish up these brakes on this dump truck, though we're national here. My son, he wanted to name the dump truck, so I'll go ahead and share it with everybody. But the old Loadstar here is now nicknamed Larry. So it's a pretty suiting name for the dump truck, I believe. Larry. So yeah, we're going to I gotta fix the brake lines. I'll show you here what we got. Okay, so last night or yesterday evening, I got the new wheel cylinder in on the bottom there. I didn't change the top one. Now, I know some of you are probably gonna say, well, you had parts, you went ahead and changed that top one. Well, maybe, you know, that one wasn't leaking and it appeared to be working. You know, the main goal right now is just getting this thing where we can move it, drive it under its own power, you know, around here on the hauler for now. You know, till we start doing test runs with it, you know. But I got a spare one, and now have, you know, found that it is possible to get them. That was kind of hard to come up with. Here's the old one. You see, this here's kind of nasty. Yeah, it was blowed out and leaking. Now here's what we're going to try to work on right now. As you can see, the fittings here that I had to cut the brake lines. Just really because, well, you know, not only was it it's a tight spot in there when you're trying to get the little 7/16 wrench on it to twist them out. And you can't hardly get on it, and it just wants to round off. But even if they would have turned, as you can see, those lines are so rusted up, it wasn't going to spin on it. It was just going to twist the line in two. So I had to cut them. And in doing so, get around here where you can see, pay no attention to my busted tail light stuff. We'll fix all that later. But, yeah, okay, you see the one brake line, I've got it bent back out of the way. We're going to try to replace that. And that crossover one, or, well, I don't know how well you can see it. It goes from, you can see it there, it goes from the bottom wheel cylinder up to the top one. Okay, yeah, I had to cut that one too, and, well, buddy of mine, he had some of them, so I put that one on there. But the top one where I screwed it in, it never did tighten up all the way. Like the nuts bottomed out, but the line's still loose. So we're going to pull it back off and check it. I got another one he gave me. I don't know if that fitting's not, well, I really don't know what the deal is, honestly. So we'll just pull it back loose and see. So that's what we're going to try to do. And we're going to try to, like I said, change that whole line out. Just put a whole new one. I got a new piece of line. But if nothing else, if for whatever reason, then I'll just snip it off there and just run a new piece over. I got some compression fittings, but yeah, it's probably better off if we can. We'll try to change the whole line out. So let's get to it and try it. Okay, so what we're going to try to do is just get in here. Go ahead and try to break this side loose. I had this out once before because I changed that line right here. So hopefully, it looks like it's going to be tight. Might have to get a pair of vice grips on or something. There we go. Turn it a little bit. Probably good idea to go ahead and change it anyway, because like I said, it's starting to get rounded off. So we get this broke loose, then we got like 2 bolts holding it on the rear end, and we're gonna get this thing out here where we can work with it, try to make a matching one, hopefully. I've never I bought a flaring tool in case I got to cut this and, you know, do that whole thing. I don't know how that'll go, because I've never done that before, but we'll see. Okay, let's see. I think those are 3/4. That's what I brought with me anyway. And no, they're smaller. Time out. Got a little spacer on the back side of that. We're just going to stick them back up in there for now until we get this all lined out. Okay, get this thing out here and see if we can make a brake line. Okay, I don't know how well it's going to work, but like I said, I've not really done this before, but trying to basically just bend all this by hand for the most part. I used that tool to kind of put a little 90 on it, but it might be a little too long. I have to kind of fine tune it once I get it under the truck. But basically, I'm just trying to follow this one. And this is a steel line, so it's not, you don't have to worry about it too bad as far as it collapsing, unless you bend it too hard. Okay guys, this video is probably going to be kind of all over the place, really, sort of. I've kind of been working on this as life allows me to, so I haven't recorded every step of the way here, but I got new brake lines ran, new wheel cylinder in. I just replaced one for now. The other one appears to be fine. And we got the hub back, brake drum back on, and we're just cleaning this up, getting old gasket material off here. And we're getting ready to put the axle back in. So hopefully won't be no big deal, just go right in there. We're gonna try to get this cleaned up pretty good so it'll seal. I know, I think one part in the video, one shot back there, when I took this apart, you know, I just used a punch and got the axle nuts loose. So when it comes time to put it back together, you know, you're pushing the bearings back on, the seal back up over the axle and stuff. Because actually when I pulled it apart, you know, the seal come out of the hub itself. So I had to put that back in, you know, before reinstalling everything. So it made it a lot harder going back on, because you kind of had to drive all this back up on there. So I had to go get a axle nut, put it on a 3/4 drive ratchet to push all this back on here. And that is a 3 1/4 inch. It's pretty good size. I didn't have nothing like it, so I had to go to Napa. Luckily, found one.
So I went everywhere local, you know, Advanced Auto Parts, AutoZone. They didn't carry anything that big. Matter of fact, AutoZone told me they couldn't even order one that big. So, but it's 3 1/4 is what this truck here takes. Try to get all the way around that one stud. Yeah, the other studs all came out except this one. We'll eventually, well, before we drive it, you know, of course, we'll top the fluid off, but once we get it driving and everything, then we'll actually, I'm gonna change this rear end fluid. Now, it doesn't appear to be too bad. I mean, it's a little dirty, but it didn't have any water in it or anything. That was the main concern. It seemed to be pretty good shape. So, we'll go get the axle, get it cleaned up, and put some Permatex on it and put it back together. Alright, so we get some of this old goop off here. Seems to be pretty good. Good spray down the brake cleaner. Wipe them off. That should work. Okay. Okay, I messed that one up a little bit. Now I will eventually, when we get to doing the cosmetic stuff on this truck, paint and stuff like that, I will take this, well, I don't know if I'll take it all back off. I might, but I will clean this up and paint it, probably black or something like that. I just didn't do it right now just for the, we're just trying to get this thing mechanically sound and operational. And even at the end of this video, once they get it together, we still ain't gonna be able to drive it, because if you watched the last video, I showed where the drive shaft was bent. Well, I took the drive shaft out and took it to a machine shop, and I had a new tube put in it, and I haven't been able to go pick it up yet. So it's done, it's ready. I just gotta go pick it up and slap it back in, and then we should be ready to try to drive this thing after that. But I don't know when that's gonna be. As soon as I get a chance to go get it, I reckon. Turn my gun up a little bit. Okay, she's ready to have the wheels put back on. I might still have to adjust the brake pads a little bit, but at least now it does roll. She's not locked. It's got a little spot that drags a little bit, but it still will turn by hand all the way, you know what I mean? And I think I mentioned it in the other video, when I took this thing off, I actually had to take a bottle jack and put, let's see if I can show you, I had to take a bottle jack and put right here on the lip and, kind of press this thing off between the springs and this lip, top and bottom, so I got that whole thing to come off there. So now we'll see if we can start getting the wheels back on. Big enough socket. Let's see. Oh, I know where I messed up. I gotta take them locks off there. Yeah, I stuck them back on her so it loose. I'm gonna take them back off and get the tire back on. Let's try again. That's not correct. There we go. Yeah, I think it's right. Figuring this out as we go. Well, stem's pointed this way, so that should be right. Actually, I was looking at you can still see like the marks on the rim where it sat on here. And this thing here has to go on. Yeah, it should be right the way we got that on there, because if you had that wheel turned the other way, then this ring here, I don't think it will hit the rim. That's made to go up against that rim and push it over. And if the tire was turned the other way, it wouldn't. It would go inside it. A little crooked. Got her stuck on that wheel. That's good. Okay, that looks pretty even. Actually need to, I should have slid that thing on down a little bit, because what it's got here, I don't know if you can see it. I'll show y'all though. here where your valve stem is, it has 2 knots. One right here, one right here, which is probably why it's so hard to get to go on there. But that's there in case this rim would, this wheel would slip on these spokes or this hub, because they can do that. And this prevents it from slipping past this spoke and tearing your valve stem off. Somebody's going to have to pop it back loose and spin it just a little bit to get it away from there. So we're doing good with this. Oh, yep. Come right off there. Yeah, it's pretty good right there. Okay, we're gonna try this out now. This whole thing about how you tighten these type of wheels up. Now I'm gonna tighten it up, you know, like you do a normal wheel, crisscross pattern. But then we gotta lay us a block of wood down here and roll the tire to check to make sure it's not gonna wobble. So I'm sure we'll have to adjust it. So let's see what happens. Okay, get this piece of wood and put it down here. How about a cinder block? Okay. Wish it would roll a little easier. So it looks to me, I'll try to move the camera around so you can see, but it looks to me like it might be a little bit wider right there. Let me go over and check, make sure. Yeah, it's close right there. So, let's see. still out a little bit. Let's see. Man, it's really humid out here too. Pouring sweat. Yeah, ain't no wonder people change these out. These can be aggravating trying to get straight. It's still not dead on, but it's pretty close. Looks like it's within about a 1/4 inch. That'd be close enough for us for now. Like I said, we ain't going to the beach ends or nothing.